All right, so here we go. We will go ahead and begin our yin practice today. So make sure you have your props, whether that's blocks, blankets, pillows, all of the things you might want, and go ahead and make your way to your mat. If you need to take a moment, you can pause the video. Otherwise, we will go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with our legs extended. So you're going to take your feet a little wider than the hips because I like to keep my knees bent. I like to use either a pillow or blocks underneath my knees. That helps provide some support. And if you have a little blanket you can sit on, sometimes it's nice to lift the seat a little bit to really get that pelvic tilt forward to make that spine nice and long. Yeah, nice. And we're going to start in an upright position, letting the hands just rest either in the lap or on the thighs, whatever feels nice. Let the shoulders shrug down the back. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. And allow yourself this moment just to arrive into your practice. Just noticing and observing all that may have come with you onto your mat this morning. Whether that's just the way you feel physically, any grogginess from waking, or a long day, a long week. And as we acknowledge it, we just allow it to have its space. And we continue on to make more space. Space for ourselves to find a little distance, a little breathing room. So from there, begin to connect with that breath. Just noticing it, how it ebbs and flows as it moves through the body. Making sure each breath is deep and full. Each exhale is complete. There are two major energies of the world. We have our yin and our yang. The yang energy is the masculine energy. It's bright and warm, active, and asks us to put in the work to do the change. The yin energy is the feminine energy represented by the moon. It's cool, calm, collected, and asks us to let change unfold around us. So during our yin practice today, there are 3 principles to keep in mind. The first principle is to move into each pose only to your first edge, to that first point of sensation. The second is to hold for time and soften the targeted area. As we hold poses up to 5 minutes, we notice the importance of moving only to our first edge, just letting gravity do the work for us. The third principle is to remain still. So we look for a way to find stillness in each pose, softening the body, letting ourselves let go of fidgeting and adjusting in order for the muscles to truly relax. So we'll take one more breath here, and you can feel free to stay in this upright position. Otherwise, we'll slowly begin to fold forward, so lean over the legs. Now remember only going to your first edge. So if you're using a pillow in between the legs or blocks underneath the knees, I like to let my elbows or my forearms also rest on that support. The chin can roll slightly towards the chest as you just begin to soften, unwinding, and letting go. During a personal practice the other day, I observed how I was feeling. And oftentimes, if we observe and notice, we can begin to identify with it. And if we identify, perhaps we can look a little deeper underneath. The yoga practice asks us to let go of what's not serving us, of the things that cause us suffering, stress, anxiety, depression. Not all of that is that easy, but some of it can be. So we allow ourselves space just to look inside. To notice the feelings. And to find ease by releasing. Just a few more breaths here. Noticing if there's any tension in the jaw or the neck. Noticing if the mind begins to wander. And just allow yourself to notice and observe. We'll take one more breath here. And then slowly begin to lift the body upright. If you have any props underneath the legs, slowly bend the knees so you can slide those props out of the way. And reach the legs back out in front of you long and reach the arms out wide like a T. And we're going to begin to take some circles, just some movement. So move the ankles, move the wrists. Doesn't matter which way you go because we're going to switch it in a moment and go the other way. So through our yin practice, we put this gentle compression on the joints, on the tissue. And sometimes it's elongation of the tissue. Go ahead and switch it. So go the other direction. Well, all of this either compresses or stimulates energy flow called the qi along the meridian lines or energy lines of the body. This gentle movement in between the poses will help free that energy and get it really moving to create a little more vitality within. Okay, one more time here. And let the hands come back down. And we're going to slide into our tabletop position or hands and knees. Now, if you know you like to have some support underneath the knees, this is a great place to take your blanket unfold it a little bit and place it on the mat so you can support your shins, your knees on the ground. You're gonna nice and slowly begin to walk the hands forward. We're gonna come to melting heart. Now, a nice option is to have a block or a pillow and place it right underneath the breastbone or underneath the head. So as you come down, you can allow yourself a little support as you rest the chest towards the ground. I like to place it right underneath my collarbones. The seat stays up over the knees, so it's kind of like a down dog, tail towards the sky. The head rests down, let the arms rest down. A big heart opener, big shoulder opener here. Now, if you're working with any shoulder injuries, feel free to either bend the elbow, let the forehead rest on forearm as the forearm comes parallel to the shoulder edge of the mat. Or you can always feel free to take Sphinx Pose, in which you just lay on your belly, elbows under shoulders. So begin to soften here. Try to let go of any excess gripping. According to Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga, the practice, the art of letting go, is called Aparigraha. It's one of the last yamas. And the yamas are the moral guidelines to which we live our lives with regards to relationships, to ourselves, and to the world around us. These moral codes can be applied both on and off the yoga mat, helping us to practice not just for the benefit of ourselves, but for the world around us. This important yama teaches us to take only what we need, keep only what serves us in the moment, and to let go when the time is right. Just a couple more breaths here. Feeling the breath still full and complete. Begin to press the hands firmly into the mat, and on your inhale, lift back to your tabletop pose. You're walking the hands back towards the knees. And we're going to take a few rounds of cat and cow. So with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath hips, you'll inhale, lift the chest, lift the tail. And on your exhale, press the ground away, round the spine, chin to chest. We do that 2 more times. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale to round. 1 more inhale. And exhale. We're going to add onto this cat and cow. So as you inhale, you're going to begin to reach the right hand and left leg out. Nice and long. And then exhale, round in and bring the knee and the elbow towards one another. So inhale, reach the arm, reach the leg out, lift the heart. And exhale, round. One more, inhale and exhale. Come back to your tabletop on your inhale. And we'll begin to settle on the exhale. So you can then inhale, reach the left arm out, right leg out, lift the chest a little. And then exhale, round in, knee to elbow, curl the spine like cat. 2 more times. Inhale to open and lengthen. Exhale to round. 1 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, table. Take the knees nice and wide, big toes together. We're going to come down for a child's pose. So I like to use my bolster or a pillow underneath the body, wedge it right in between my thighs to let the body rest down onto the pillow. You can let the chin, the forehead, or one cheek rest down to the mat. And I will cue you when to switch sides if you're doing one cheek. So allow yourself to settle. Try to relax any excess gripping that might happen in the inner thighs or the inner hips. And once you find that place, allow yourself to let go and find a little stillness. Aparigraha is actually one of the central teaching in the yogic text, the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna shares one of the teachings that could perhaps be the most important lesson of all to learn. He says, let your concern be with action alone and never with the fruits of action. Do not let the results of action be your motive, and do not be attached to inaction. What Krishna is essentially saying here is that we should never concern ourselves with the outcome of a situation. We should only concern ourselves with what we're actually doing right here, now, as we work towards that outcome. If you have one cheek on the mat, go ahead and switch it to the other side. Continue to focus on the breath and soften. take one more breath here. And nice and slowly, if you have one cheek turned to the mat, bring your forehead down so your face is centered. Press into the hands and begin to lift back to tabletop, hands and knees. And we're going to take 3 gentle rounds of rolling panda. So on your inhale, you're going to open the right arm out to the side and open the chest towards the right. And then exhale, thread it through, reach towards the left, right shoulder comes almost to the ground. And then inhale, open up again, open the arm to the sky. And exhale, twist, reach to the left. One more time, inhale. And exhale. As you inhale, reach up one more time. And exhale to your tabletop, hand down. And we'll come to the next side. Inhale with the left arm, open the chest to the left. And exhale, thread it through. Inhale to lift and open. And exhale to twist. Last one. We'll end with that inhale, reaching back up to the sky. And exhale, tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes, lift the knees, lift the hips here. Nice, gentle downward dog. So you just get a chance to open up the back of the legs. Perhaps you want to pedal the feet a little bit, shake it out. And bend the knees significantly. The heels might lift off the ground. And then you're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. You can take the feet as wide as you would like. So maybe they're a little wider than hip width. Maybe they're hip width apart. And you can bend the knees so the belly can come almost towards the thighs, if not on the thighs. And just cascade here, forward fold, dangling the arms. Maybe you hold on to opposite arms, let the head completely let go and relax in this easy forward fold. And Yin, we call this dangle. So we're truly letting the upper body just cascade over the legs here. Try to soften as much as you can, feeling the weight balanced between the 4 corners of the feet. We won't hold this one for quite as long. That might help you feel a little more at ease. Why is it that we want to hold on so much to the way things are? That we shy away from change, or we can't let go of people or ideas? That we can seem stuck in the same relationships, jobs, habits, and ways of being? Aparigraha asks us to remember that joy in life is not dependent on grasping or holding on, but to remember that what we possess possesses us. What we hold on to holds us. Perhaps even in this pose, you can let go just a little bit more. On your next inhale, lift up halfway, bring the hands to the shins, head and heart forward. Give yourself a moment to let the circulation of the head kind of rebound here. You can take some movement. Maybe you sway a little side to side, bending one knee or the other. And we're going to toe heel the feet out as wide as the mat, the heels in, toes out at about a 45-degree angle. We're going to sit down for Yogi Squat. So you can always just bend the knees, rest the forearms on the thighs, stick the tail out, reach the tail and the head in opposite directions. You can bring a block or a pillow, whatever you have, underneath the seat as you sit down nice and low. The hands can rest down if that makes you feel more supported, or you can bring your hands to your heart, lift the chest, and relax the shoulders. Now, if you don't want to use a prop, you can always feel free just to let the seat hang towards the ground. If your heels lift, sometimes it feels nice to roll a blanket or put the edge of a blanket underneath the heels. Give yourself a few moments just to soften, just to let go. Big hip opener. Find a place that you can relax a little bit more. Notice if tension creeps up around the shoulders, the neck, or the jaw. Hindsight is a wonderful and annoyingly useful thing. If only we knew that those things we obsessively worry over didn't really matter. If only we could stop being concerned with what might happen and just enjoy what is happening. Each time we enter into a new relationship, job, experience, a sensation of joy and happiness, or start a new project, there's often a flash of concern as we think, even just for a moment, what happens when this is over? What will come of this? Becoming attached to a positive feeling or a positive experience is completely human. Why wouldn't we want to feel happy for as long as we can? But when we experience positivity, do we really let ourselves fully have that experience? Or do we cling to it, willing everything to stay just as it is in that moment? I'll take one more breath here. We're going to nice and slowly come to a seat. So however that works best in your body, maybe you want to come through tabletop. Maybe you can just slide your prop out from underneath you and sit down onto the ground. Go ahead and grab your blanket if you're using it underneath your seat. And we're going to come into butterfly pose. So if you have props nearby, I recommend starting them with underneath your knees. And you'll bring the soles of the feet together, knees open out wide. And you're going to take the feet far away from the groin or far away from the body. So you create a diamond-like shape in between the legs. You're going to sit up nice and tall. Let your hands rest on either the thighs, the knees, or the shins. And we're going to take some movement here. So you're going to begin to take circles, feeling just the weight shifting on the pelvis. It might be just the torso moving along with the pelvis. Maybe you get your shoulders involved. Maybe the head gets involved. And it's just like you're drawing little circles here. If you feel dizzy at all, you can slow the circle. You can make it smaller. I know I like to keep my eyes open. You could close them as well. We'll go 2 more times in this direction. Now we're going to switch it and reverse it and go the opposite direction. It can be slow, it could be quick, whatever feels good. Just allowing the body to softly open here. Stimulating that chi, that prana throughout us. Okay, 2 more times. And we'll come back to our upright position and take a big breath in. And feel free to stay in this position. You can bring your hands inside the legs and lean forward. You can use a prop inside the legs and rest the forearms or the head down. Wherever your first edge is, if you'd like to stay upright, know that that is perfect. Or you can fold over the legs here. In Sanskrit, the word Purnamavada is the teaching that everything is in a constant state of flux. Indeed, change is the only constant thing we can expect in life. Just as the trees drop their leaves in autumn so that they may grow new buds in spring. The day turns to night. The seasons come and go. We too go through changes every moment of every day. Our physical bodies are undergoing change every second, with cells regenerating, blood flowing, bone wearing down and then being stimulated to build up again. Breath moving in and out of the body. So too do our minds experience change continuously. Take one more breath here. We'll slowly begin to lift the body upright. You're going to use your hands to scoop up the knees and let the legs come all the way back out in front of you, kind of like where we just started. Keep your props nearby, you might need them, but give yourself a moment. Maybe you bounce the knees, you can rest the hands behind you, bounce the knees a little. And we're going to go into a shoelace variation. So there are going to be lots of different options for you to choose from. And we'll start with the most gentle, so the very first edge to something that might be a little greater sensation. So we're going to start by bending the right knee and place a right foot on the floor. This is a great place to stay, all right? So you can even just wrap the arms around the shin if you decide to stay here. A second option would be to place that right foot onto the outside of the left thigh. Same thing. Stay here, arms wrapped around the shin. To keep going, the right heel will drag back towards the left hip, and you're going to stack the knees one on top of one another. If you're going to stay here, oftentimes a prop underneath this right thigh is helpful. All right, so the last option here is you'll lean a little towards the left and bend the left knee, bringing that right heel or that left heel all the way back towards the right hip. So then the knees are stacked, feet come out towards the sides, and if you look down, it kind of looks like a little bow, like a little shoelace. You can still use props here if this underneath that right knee, if it's lifted up off the left. And you can allow yourself to still stay seated upright, just letting the shoulders slide down the back and the crown of the head high towards the sky. If you would like to continue and lean forward, you can use your hands on the floor in front of you. Maybe you use a block or a prop for your forearms or your head. Just remembering to only go into your first edge, as this is one of our longer holds. And you can always deepen it as we continue, as we hold, as the body opens up slowly. As you settle, wherever you are, remind yourself that it's enough. That it's not about the outcome, not about that shape, the idea of what this pose should look like. But it's about stimulating that energy, feeling that sensation in the body, sitting with it, being present, and enjoying the moment. Happiness, joy, and peace are important emotions to feel, yes, but so too is sadness, anger, and loss. To experience only the good stuff is to experience only half of what life has to offer. And this school of life that we live in exists to allow us to experience and learn from every aspect of our being, both the light and the dark. And to truly live, we must not push away the things we don't want to feel, but allow them to happen and know that this too shall pass. When we let the moment be what it is without either trying to cling to it or push it away, we can really say we're living in that moment, allowing things to come and go without the need to possess any of it. On your next inhale, begin to lift the body upright. We're going to unwind the legs just as slowly and mindfully as we came into them. So if you have the left leg bent, lean to the left as you extend that left leg long. And then we'll slowly take the right leg back over and then extend it out to meet the left. From here, you can bring your hands back behind you, sway the feet a little side to side. And then let's take our hands and actually pat the thighs. A good tap. And then from there, maybe you go all the way down the shins, the ankles. Tap, 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 whatever feels good. All right. And then slowly we'll come back up and we're going to move to the next side. So keeping your props nearby, use them however you would like. And remember that this side might be completely different than the last. So show yourself some compassion. Listen and stay in the moment. We're going to bend that left knee, place the left foot down. Sit up nice and tall. Observe what's being felt in the body. Stay here or take it over to the outside of the right thigh. Stay here or slide the heel back towards that right hip, knees stack. Using a prop perhaps underneath that left thigh, or you can begin to lean right and bend the right knee, bringing that right heel back towards the left hip. It does not have to look identical, and it doesn't have to be like mine. It can look like however feels better in your body. You'll give yourself a moment, set up your props, sit up nice and tall, and begin to soften any excess tension in the shoulders, the neck, or the jaw. Remember, this is a great place to stay for the whole time, or to at least start. But if you would like to, you can begin to lean forward. And you can lean forward at any point during this hold. Oftentimes when we get deep into the hips, some tension will move through the body. So check in on the upper body, make sure there's no transference of this energy. But also sometimes deep hip work will allow different emotions to arise, to escape those deep dark corners we hide them within. And if anything does come up, just acknowledge it. Don't force it, don't push it away. Don't try to hold on to it. Just allow it to be. There is a tale of catching monkeys by placing a peanut in a pot. The monkey puts its hand into the vessel and grasps the peanut. A simple way to escape would be to let go of the nut, but the monkey grips tighter onto its prize. So the question is, what is your peanut? What is it that you can't let go of? Maybe it's a thought about yourself or others. Perhaps it's a job or your adherence to your body and how it should look. The peanuts come in all forms. On your inhale, begin to lift the body back upright and unwind legs again slowly, starting with the right leg and then unwinding the left. This time, let's bend both knees, place both feet on the floor, and let your hands come back behind you. And you could just sway the knees side to side. It's really loosening up the hips, the pelvis. Now we're going to slowly begin to make our way to our back. So grab any props that you might like to have for your Shavasana nearby. If you have a blanket or a block, whatever your prop is, place it on the left side of the body first, because we're going to go into a twist and you can use it for this twist. So you're going to make your way onto your back and hug both knees into the chest and just give yourself a little squeeze. Maybe rock just a little side to side. And then you're going to let the left leg go long. You can bend. It doesn't have to be completely straight. And then the right arm is going to come out of the body like a cactus or like a T. And you're going to use your left hand to guide that right knee into a twist over to the left side of the body, which is where you might find some support from the props that you have sitting nearby. I like to keep my left hand on my right knee, so know that that is an option, but not necessary. And if it feels okay to your neck, you can turn the head in either direction, the right or the left. And just coming down to a single leg twist. The right knee comes in and goes over to the left. Allow the shoulders to feel heavy, the hips to let go, as the body just gently unwinds here. Fixation is a sense that something is stuck because we refuse to let go. Like a glass getting attached to its coaster. This vacuum creates more pressure in the way we live. When we release what we are grasping, we begin to find more freedom. Take a deep breath in here, fill up as deep as you can, and exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. Slowly bring the gaze back upright. Bring that knee back into the chest and give it a good squeeze. And then also add the left knee back in so both knees can be squeezing in towards the chest. We're going to shift the prop over now to the right. So you can place the feet down to do that if you need to. And then the left knee will stay to the chest and the right leg will go long. The left arm will open out like a cactus or a T, and you'll gently guide the left knee over towards the right side of the body, being supported by a prop if you have one. Letting the shoulders relax, that left shoulder is heavy towards the ground, and the gaze can turn in either direction. Let the body just begin to feel heavy here. Aparigraha offers us so much freedom. The freedom to work and do what we love without worrying about the outcome. The freedom to rely less on external and material possessions. Realizing that the things outside of us is not what brings us happiness. Here, there is freedom to experience everything life has to offer, whatever that may be. As we practice this art of letting go, we can begin to see what happens. We'll take one more breath here. So take it nice and deep. Let out through the mouth. And we'll lift the head back towards center. Bring the knee back to the chest. And then pull both knees into the chest. And you can feel free to take any movements here. Maybe you want to take a happy baby, wiggle out those legs, extend them long. Just a little bit of movement here to end your practice. Whatever movement that might be. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly begin to make our way to our final resting pose. So my favorite way of practicing Shavasana for my Yin class has been using a pillow or a prop underneath my legs, my knees, letting my body rest down using either a blanket or a pillow under the head, and perhaps a blanket draped across my belly. The arms can rest on the body or out towards the side. And just allow yourself to close the eyes here. Begin to feel a complete support of the earth. Letting the muscles, letting the body truly relax. And as you rest here, as you let go, have faith in knowing that after every letting go, something good is there waiting to fill that space. If you'd like to continue to stay in Shavasana, feel free to stay as long as you like. Otherwise, allow yourself to begin to deepen the breath. And as you bring awareness back to the body and mind, I'll read to you a short poem by Morgan Harper Nichols. Living in the moment is learning how to live between the big moments. It is learning how to make the most of the in-betweens and having the audacity to make those moments just as exciting. Invite some movement to the body by wiggling the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Take a big stretch, reach the arms behind you and the feet out in front of you. And being mindful of your props, we'll slowly begin to make our way to a seat. So you can do that by rolling to one side or perhaps rocking and rolling front to back. We'll stack the spine upright, sitting however is most comfortable. You can rest the hands in the lap, on the thighs, or in a prayer-like position, heart center, Anjali Mudra. It's a symbol of offering. Allow yourself to offer a kind word here to yourself. Maybe all have the courage to practice Aparigraha. And may we all find freedom in letting go. Take a deep breath into the nose. HA, sound it out through the mouth. And we bow together. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing.